In this video, I will show you how to create a baby blanket using a double crochet stitch. The blanket ended up being 30 by 40 inches. For this project, you will need some yarn specifically for baby blankets. You will need an 8mm hook, a large needle, and some scissors. So I'm starting with this kind of blue and white mixed yarn because the couple that I'm making this for has that as their theme. And if you turn this around and look right here, you'll notice that it's asking for an 8mm hook. So that's what we'll be using today. It's a pretty large hook, but you can also see that the yarn is pretty big as well, so you do need a larger hook. All right, we're gonna be using a double crochet stitch for this. So to start, we need to make a loop. So I'm gonna wrap that around my thumb and just have the yarn behind come through. So you're really just making a slip knot. Now just make sure that the knot is not so tight that you can't move the hook, but not so loose that the hook just falls out. So now we're gonna take this longer end here. There's many different ways to do this, but I'm gonna wrap this around my pinky, the back of my pointer finger, and then pinch it with my thumb and my middle finger. Now your pointer finger is going to be the tension, so see if it's too loose, you can't really do a ton. So by keeping this tight here, it'll just allow you to easily hook this. So the first thing we're going to do is make a chain. So we're going to hook and pull that through, and hook, pull that through. So it's really simple. You're just really hooking that and pulling it down. Now if you notice, when I hook, I'm facing it up and then I turn it down. That's because if you go like this, it will get stuck. Other times it might just fall off. So you really want to hook it and turn it down and then pull it through. So you just want to keep making this chain until you get the length of the blanket that you want. Now I've completed that and I have a chain of 64. So you can see it's really long. I wanted my row to be 60, and so I did 64 because we're going to go back into the fourth loop. I don't know if you can see that little kind of a dot right there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's really where my thumb is right there. So we're going to hook, and we're gonna go into the fourth one. Now when it comes out the other side, I know this is really hard to see, but that's why definitely make sure you watch some of my other videos. I'll link them in the cards and the description. You might wanna try those ones first, but now that you're through, you're gonna hook and you're pulling it back through the exact same hole. And now we have 3 of them on here. So now you're gonna hook it again, and you're gonna go through the first 2, and now the last 2. So if you're able to repeat that over and over, the first 2, the last 2, it'll help you remember. So you hook it, and now we're going in the very next one right here. And again, it's out the other side. And I'm gonna hook it again and pull it back through the hole. So I have 3. Now we're going to hook, pull it back through the first 2, and now the last 2. So it all kind of starts jumbling together a little bit, but once you get this first row, you'll actually be able to hang on to this piece, which makes it a lot easier. Right now, you're really not hanging on to anything. So I'm gonna go through that a few more times. So you're gonna hook it, go through the hole. It's gonna come out the other side, and you're going to hook it and pull it back through that hole. So now you have 3, and you'll hook, and we'll go through the first 2, and then we'll hook and go through the last 2. So you're gonna hook it, go through the hole. It's gonna come out the other side, and you're going to hook it and pull it back through that hole. So now you have 3, and you'll hook, and we'll go through the first 2, and then we'll hook and go through the last 2. Okay, so I'm gonna keep doing that. I have to do 60 of these. So kind of a lot, but if you're able to just kind of watch a movie or some TV or something, you can just kind of go through these, and it is very relaxing once you get the hang of it. So I'm gonna do a few just so you can see roughly what it looks like. So we're hooking through the hole, hook back through the hole. We're gonna do the first 2 and the last 2. Again, hook through the hole. We're gonna hook it again and back through the hole. And now we're gonna do the first 2 and the last 2. So if you need to, just rewind this video and watch the first few that I did so you can see it more slowly. But just keep doing that, and then I'll show you what we do for the next row. So I've finished the entire first row, as you can see. So to go to the next row, we're gonna loop 1, 2. So pretty much you want it to be about the same height as the first one, and then you're gonna flip your work because you always wanna go from right to left. So now that you have that first one, I don't know if you can see right at the base of it, there's a hole right here. Okay, so it's right there. That's where we're going to be going in each of these little dots right here. And again, like I said, if you are a beginner and you've never crocheted or anything, you may want to start with one of the other videos because this yarn is a lot thicker and it can be more difficult. So what we're going to do is hook this and go right into the base. And when it comes out the other side, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to hook and pull it back, and then you've got your 3. So now we're going to hook and go through the first 2, and then you're going to hook and go through the last 2. So pretty much you're just repeating what we did already for the next row. So we're going to hook, and you're going to go into this next little hole here. When it comes out the other side, you're going to hook it and pull it back through, and now you should have 3 again. So we're going to hook and go through the first 2, and then you're gonna hook and go through the last 2. Okay, so you can kind of see what it looks like. And we're gonna keep going. So we're gonna hook, go into that next hole. When it comes out the other side, you're gonna hook and pull it through. Now you have 3, so we're gonna hook and go through the first 2, and then we're gonna hook and go through the last 2. So I'm gonna go ahead and just keep doing this, and then I will show you again how to flip to the next row when I'm done with this one. So now I've completed the second row, so we're at the end again, and we're gonna do the same thing. So now I'm going to hook it once and twice, and we're gonna flip our work. So everything should be on the other side so that you go right to left. So we're going to hook this and go right into the base of this one here. And when it comes out the other side, you're gonna hook it and pull it back through. So now you have 3 on again, and you're gonna go through the first 2, and then we're gonna go through the last 2. So you can kind of see, and if I put it straight, I know it looks weird now, but when you have it longer, you just wanna make sure that this is straight. And that will be straight as long as you have the same amount in each row. So again, we're gonna hook and go through the hole. When it comes out the other side, you'll hook it and pull it back through again, and then you'll hook through the first 2, and then hook through the last 2. Okay, so you're gonna keep doing that, and you'll go back and forth. So pretty much you're just gonna keep doing this for the rest of the blanket. You'll go all the way to the end, do the 2 stitches, flip it over, and just go back and forth. And if you need to, feel free to rewind the video if you wanna watch how to start the next row over again. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish this blanket, and then I'll show you how to end it. I have now finished the blanket, so we're gonna need to tie off the end piece. So what I'm gonna do is take a long piece of the yarn and cut that off. And now we're gonna just weave this tail through here. We're gonna put it through the hole and pull snug. This is pretty much gonna make a knot on the end to ensure that it will not come undone. And now we can weave the tail in and out on the end here. I usually like to do about 3 to 4 inches just to make sure that it will not come undone, you know, months or years later. So we're gonna take our large needle and try to get that in there. So this yarn is a little more difficult because it's extremely fuzzy, and now we're gonna weave it. So I'm just gonna take this, and there's not really a specific way to do this. You just kind of go back and forth and make sure that it's getting through the middle of your yarn or your pattern here. And you're not gonna be able to see that. You can see it's really hidden really well, but like I said, do as much as you can, at least a few inches, just to make sure that it's nicely tucked in there and it won't come undone. Even if this end piece this little tail comes out at some point, just remember you already had that knot in there, so the chances of this coming undone are very slim. Now that we're done, we're just gonna cut that off. Now we need to do the other tails. This is one of the tails from me connecting 2 balls of yarn. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing, and I'm probably gonna go opposite directions just so it doesn't look weird. So I'm gonna kind of weave those in on opposite ends. One thing I wanted to mention is, in this scenario, if you did end up making these tails really short, what you can do is you can actually just weave them in and out first with your needle, and then you just weave this in here. That way it's a lot easier to do. And that's it, the baby blanket is done. So hopefully you guys liked this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up because it really helps me quite a bit. And if you want to see more tutorial videos, then don't forget to subscribe.